It's a bird! It's a plane! No! It's actually Subculture. I'm a little late, but I asked you guys anyway, and most of you said that you'd still like to see my opinion, so here we go. How controversial was this palette? Because honestly, I don't even know where to start with this video, so I'm gonna just go ahead. So as this is gonna be like a long video, I'm gonna say like different things. I'm gonna have timestamps below. I'm gonna try to make it short, but I do have quite a few things to say about it. So yeah, I've seen 2 reviews about this, and I try not to see any more because I wanted to form my own opinion on it. But it was pretty difficult to avoid the shitstorm of opinion makers on the internet. And as always, people on the internet are very civilized, so if you stated that you liked it or disliked it, you would not get attacked at all. Anyway, I swatched it a little. I haven't swatched it heavily, but I do have a few things to say. Just off the bat, this was supposed to be a sister palette to the Modern Renaissance 1. First, no, it ain't. How is this a sister palette? This is supposed to be the night version of Modern Renaissance. Modern Renaissance is the basic bitch you see walking down the street. This girl, she's like the alternative punk girl with tattoos and piercings that goes into the family meetings and they're like, "You're so pretty, why do you do this to yourself?" I feel like a lot of people weren't enthusiastic about the color scheme. I myself love it, but I'm that girl that the family judges. By only dipping my finger in them a little bit, I do think that the formula has changed. I don't know whether that's due to the talk thing that has been going on. I don't know if they changed that, or if it was the pressing issue, or if it was the batch issue. They say Norvina says it was a batch issue. I can't confirm or deny that because I don't know everything she said, but from what I gathered and what I saw, I don't think she confirmed it as much as she just went along with it and was like, yeah, if you guys hate it so much, I'll press harder next time. I don't think there's a batch issue. I don't think some people have a better palette than others. I think it's down to not application if it's right or wrong, and they're harder to blend because they're like pressed pigments and not really as much eyeshadows. I think this was the brand's idea to have this kind of formula. I don't think they were prepared to like the backlash because I think most people do like to build it up. And also, this is better, I think, for people who are comfortable around makeup and more of makeup artists, whereas I think Modern Renaissance can appeal to everyone really. So I feel like you do have to have some kind of technique to use this palette just from swatching on my fingers, but I'm gonna do 2 looks with it and see what it's all about. As you know, I'm not a very experienced makeup artist. I just do my makeup every day, and that kind of, yeah, I may end up fucking myself with this one. It's okay if you like this palette. It's okay if you don't. I think they're all the same. I may be wrong. So feel free to express your opinion if you have it or if you're thinking of buying it. Do it down below, but do it in a nice way. Let's test out the fallout. I'm gonna use the brush that they give, which is this fluffy brush. There's also this side. I would recommend this side first and then fluff it out with this. This was just a little bit. I was super light-handed with this. There's a little bit of fallout, as you can see. It's not as extreme as what I've been seeing around, and I'm just gonna swatch this here. Kind of, this was super lightweight, and look at the pigment. But other complaints about this is that it's powdery and chalky and it doesn't settle into the right places. I'm gonna try to use most of the shadows. So I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush and I'm gonna go into down here to create a little nice transition shade. I hope this is focusing all the time. Again, I'm not swirling it in, I'm patting it in because that way you can avoid most of the fallout. A very nude shade for me, and it's perfect as a transition shade. As it is blending well so far, I think. I'm gonna grab a packing brush right now, and I'm gonna go into New Wave. I don't know if I picked a brush that's too big. I'm gonna do a halo eye in this eye, because you know, who am I if I'm not doing a halo eye? And again, you can see that the pigment is amazing. So I'm just going in very slowly. No complaints so far. I did hear that both yellows oxidized a little. If you see here, this is the yellow. This is supposed to be like a mustard yellow, and it's a bit more orangey on my eyes. I don't think so far these two are hard to blend though. Just gonna take my fluffy brush and just clean it up. It is a little patchy there, if you could see. Okay. I'm gonna try to cover that up. Yeah, it's a little patchy. I'm going to take this little one and go into fudge. But see, the pigment is so good. See, that's an orange. That's not a yellow. I honestly wasn't expecting to be this sad. Fluffy that shit out. Okay, a little better. I'm gonna bring a little bit more of that yellow, not yellow. And I'm gonna go into electric. See, I think this would have been cuter if it was actually yellow and not orange. Oh, okay, maybe I won't need to edit. I'm gonna do one last thing now, and I'm gonna try to replace my New Wave shade with Edge. There's the yellow I was hoping for. Hope this doesn't oxidize as well. You can see like here, it is the blendability issue is real. Okay, let's go for the second look. What I really wanted to use as my transition in this eye was Roxy, but because I know they're so pigmented, I'm gonna do Dawn a little bit first and then go in with Roxy. And I'm gonna use actually Anastasia's brush fluffy end. I'm just gonna tap, 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 and then I'm gonna tap, tap, tap a little into Roxy. Pretty. Like it. I'm gonna go into All Star, and I'm gonna tap, tap, tap. And see, this is just 3 taps. I still tap that off, and I'm gonna try to do like an all over thingy. See, this is where, because it's so pigmented, I'm not saying it's crap, but because it's so pigmented, it's harder to blend seamlessly. And it is a little, like, it is a little chalky. I think that you can see that, again, it's a little patchy. But there's still a little patchiness there that you don't see with the eye like this. I don't know if you see when it's closed, like, yeah, you can definitely see if I close my eyes. It kind of upsets me. I'm gonna try to go with another brush and be more like precise in the area. I'm gonna go with Roxy just a little bit overhead just to see if I can fluff the patchiness out. I'm gonna use Adorn now. Oh, these shadows are beautiful. The shimmery ones. You know that I figured out now that I haven't worn the green. So maybe I'm going to swipe this underneath and just use the green there. Because I want to try out the greens as well. I don't know how they just blew by me. And they are like the main focus of this palette. I'm going to go into Rowdy. Just kind of like a purplish. And I'm just going to go a little bit of depth here at the end. I'm gonna regret this. And unblendable. I regret my actions. Holy fuck. Fluffy. Come with me, Fluffy. Let's fluff it out. No. I hate these sharp plugs, but I needed to get out. Okay, I'm just gonna go into All-Star again and try to cover that bullshit that just happened. Okay, I think we started beautifully, and it's just a crap storm at the moment. I look like I was punched in the eye. I'm gonna go into Cube with my pinky finger. It's almost like it's creamy, but not a lot is coming out. Okay. Ooh, pretty. I don't think there's much more we can do about that. And I'm gonna go into Destiny. See, I think they're really good shadows for this. Exactly this. Placing pigment. I don't think they're good shadows for all over unless you're really experienced in makeup and within that technique. Because I really like how that blended out. It does look darker than on the pen though. I'm gonna go into Untamed now. I keep forgetting how pigmented they are, even though I'm always talking about how pigmented they are. And there is the fallout. I'm gonna try to fluff it out with Dawn. I'm gonna add a little bit of highlight here. I'm gonna do my lashes. And we're gonna keep, I don't know. I'm gonna talk about it. So I don't use lashes, you guys know that. So these are the finished looks. I have been having issues with my lashes falling off, so excuse the lack of lashes. I'm gonna pull it back just so you can see it clearly. And let's just do like a recap of everything. So, my palette is not as messy as everything you've been seeing out there. Because again, I was very gentle with it. Because I know they're so very pigmented, there's no need to swirl around and see how much fallout there is. There is quite a lot more fallout than most palettes, but it's because it's a pigment pressed. Regarding blendability, I do think that the darker colors are a little hard to blend. For the everyday girl that's not very experienced about makeup but still likes to play around with stuff, like me, it is going to take a lot more work than the regular palette. They're more, I think, though, depositing colors and not as much blending colors. It's a little patchy there. I gotta give it to them. I really tried really hard to like this palette, and I feel that I'm a little underwhelmed by it. Just because it is a little patchy. I do understand that the blendability of it maybe would increase with your technique. If you have like a better technique doing that and more experience doing that, then I do believe that you are able to do that. But the patchiness is really where I most struggle with this palette. I'm still gonna use it. I'm just gonna use this with other products that I have and with other eyeshadows that I have. So I'm going to use this mostly for color depositing. I don't know that I'm going to use the darker shades because I'm scared of them at this point. But if they're for like lower lash lines and everything, I think they're really good. And myself, I like to build things up first just because it's easier for me as well. And so this palette took a lot of work out of me to make a decent, like, half decent look. And I think that at the time they thought, oh my god, this is so pigmented, and because it's so pigmented, people are gonna love it. But there is such a thing as too pigmented for people who are not professionals. So if it's not patchy for you, I don't think you're lying. I just think that either I don't know how to make it work, or it is kind of reactive to some people's skin, and some people it blends out better than other people's, which is fine. I do have dry eyelids and eye area, so maybe that's why. I do find that doesn't happen with most eyeshadows I have, but it does happen with this. I'm not saying, again, yeah, though that's a con for me personally. Overall, would I recommend this palette? It's a hard one because I really do love it. I'm still going to use it for packing pigment. So if that's something you're going for and you have a huge collection, then yeah, why not? I do recommend it, and it's just a nice thing to have and test out as well, especially if you're a collector, if you like playing around with many different products. If you want to do one look based solely off this and you're not a complete pro, I think that's going to be hard. If you're going off the bat, one of your first makeup palettes, no, I don't recommend it. I can't say like I love the shit out of this palette. No, I don't. I think it has a lot of issues that haven't been brought up to the brand, and they are working on reformulating it and stuff like that. So if that happens, eventually I might buy the second version and do kind of a comparison. And I think that if it was pressed harder, the formulation would have been the same in terms of patchiness, which is what I'm worried about. So again, I don't know how that reformulation will go, if it's just the pressing or if they're actually going to reformulate this. Okay, so I talked a lot. I hope this video isn't as long as I'm thinking it's gonna be. But if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Leave me all of your comments down below of what you think about this palette. Do you have it? Are you thinking of getting it? Did I somehow influence your opinion? Did all other YouTubers influence your opinion? Let me know your thoughts on it. And I'm gonna be back on Wednesday with my evening skincare routine. If you haven't seen the morning one, I'm gonna link it up here and also down below in the description box. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So bye!